Devaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
So, Hare Krishna, everybody. Thank you for joining us. I'd like to seek the blessings of Shri Shri Radha Krishna, Radha Madhav, Radha Shyam Sundar, Krishna Balaram, Gaunitai, Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj, and the assembled devotees. Today is the last chapter, or final chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam. It's actually quite a short chapter. So what I was thinking was, I'd quite like if devotees like to just share after we finish any particular pastime or philosophy or point in this Bhagavatam which really stuck out for them. It'll be good to hear. It can be a story, it can be a point of philosophy which you really found has really struck your heart. It's embedded within your mindset, or some particular point that was made in the conversations. One thing, or a couple of things if you like, but if everybody could just share something, that would be really, really nice to hear. So if that's okay, you got about 10 minutes or 20 minutes to think about it. So let's go through chapter 13, the overview of chapter 13 of Canto number 12. And this is a verse number 13.
Prostapadyam Purna Mashayan Hema Sema Samambitam Tadati Yo Bhagavatam Sayate Paramam Gatim. Translation: if on the full moon day of the month of Bhadra, one places Srimad Bhagavatam on a golden throne and gives it as a gift, he will attain the supreme transcendental destination.
So this is, if devotees want to share the Bhagavatam, the full moon day of the Bhadra month is a good time.
That's Bhadra Purnima, which is the appearance of Lord Balaram.
Oh, okay.
It's that day, which is coming up shortly.
It's on 12th of August, Friday, 12th of August. Interesting. Glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is the entitlement of this chapter. In the final chapter, Sri Sukta Goswami describes the length of each of the Puranas, along with the subject matter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, its purpose, how to give it as a gift, the glories of such gift giving, and the glories of chanting and hearing it. So, Lord Kurma's sleepy condition. Sutta Goswami said, I offer my humble obeisances unto that personality whom Brahma, Varun, Indra, Rudra, and Maruts praise by chanting transcendental hymns and reciting the Vedas. When the Supreme Lord appeared as Lord Kurma, a tortoise, his back was scratched by the sharp-edged stones lying on massive whirling mountain Mandara. And this scratching made the Lord sleepy. So the Lord is very unique, of course. When he appears as a tortoise, the reason he appears is because he's got this itching sensation which needs to be sorted out. And he uses a mountain, which and the churning is done by the demons and the devotees or the demigods. And that churning gives him a lot of satisfaction. Makes him feel sleepy because he's scratching his back. May you all be protected by the winds caused by the Lord's breathing in this sleepy condition. Ever since that time, even up to the present day, the ocean tides have imitated the Lord's inhalation and exhalation by piously coming in and going out. So this is when we hear the ocean waves. I mean, Karuna will, of course, have more experience of this than and Sitaram and Chitra Manjari, because they live very close to the ocean. When you listen to the waves of the ocean, it's very relaxing. Some people even sleep with those sounds of the waves coming in and going out because it's so relaxing. So this is a little idea of what it feels like to hear Lord breathing when he's in a sleepy condition. So very interesting. So then Sutta Goswami says, please hear a summation of the verse length of each of the Puranas. So he just wants to give the overview now of how all the Puranas, how big they are, and how they compare with the Bhagavatam. Then here the primary subject, prime subject, and purpose of this Bhagavad Purana, the method, proper method of giving it as a gift, the glories of such gift giving, and finally the glories of hearing and chanting this literature. Okay. So the total number of verses in all the Puranas is 400,000, 4 lakh. Split as follows: Brahma Purana, 10,000 verses, Padma Purana, 50,000. So you can see Padma Purana is huge. Bhagavad Purana is 18,000. So Padma Purana is at least 3 times bigger. Vishnu Purana, 23,000. Shiv Purana, 24,000. Srimad Bhagavatam, 18,000. Narad Purana, 25,000. Markandeya Purana, 9,000. So Markandeya Purana, he's got his own Purana. Agni Purana, 15,400. Bhavishya Purana, 14,500. Brahma Vaivarta Purana, 18,000. So Brahma Vaivarta Purana, we've sort of read a little bit. There's quite a lot of Krishna's pastimes in this Purana. Very interesting. Linga Purana, 11,000. Varaha Purana, 24,000. Skanda Purana, 81,000 verses. My goodness. Vaman Purana, 10,000. Kurma Purana, 17,000. Matsya Purana, 14,000. Garud Purana, 19,000. And Brahmanda Purana, 12,000. So there's loads and loads of Puranas. And I remember somebody asking me, do we have to read them all? Yes, but actually the one to read is the one that we've just gone through. Because this is a summary. The Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Purana is a summary of the whole Vedas, summary of all the Puranas. It's the Purana which is untouched by any of the modes. And it's transcendental. Its focus is on bhakti, bhakti yoga. So it's situated in Shuddha Bhakti, Shuddha Guna. It's not within the realm of any of the other gunas. So this is why we focus on Bhagavad Purana. Don't need to worry about any of the other Puranas because this Purana contains everything. Bhagavad Purana is full of nectar. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayan, instructed Brahma in this Srimad Bhagavatam. At the time, Brahma, frightened by material existence, was sitting on the lotus flower that had grown from the Lord's navel. From beginning to end, the Srimad Bhagavatam is full of narrations that encourage renunciation of material life, as well as nectarian accounts of Lord Hari's transcendental pastimes, which give ecstasy to the saintly devotees and demigods. This Bhagavatam is the essence of all Vedanta philosophy because its subject matter is the absolute truth, which, while non-different from the spirit soul, is the ultimate reality, one without a second. So it's non-different from us because we also are spirit, and the absolute truth is spirit. The only difference is the absolute truth is humongous, unlimited, and we are limited. We're tiny. We are dependent. And absolute truth is independent. The goal of this literature is exclusive devotional service unto that supreme truth. And this is what distinguishes Bhagavatam from any other scripture. This point about exclusive devotional service. So, gifting of Bhagavatam. If on a full moon day of the month of Bhadra, so that's Balaram Jayanti. And this year it falls on the Friday, the 12th of August. One places Srimad Bhagavatam on a golden throne and gives it as a gift. He will attain the supreme transcendental destination. All other Puranic scriptures shine forth in the assembly of saintly devotees only as long as that great ocean of nectar, Srimad Bhagavatam, is not heard. One who has felt satisfaction from Srimad Bhagavatam nectarian mellow will never be attracted to any other literature. Just as the Ganga is the greatest of all rivers, Lord Achyuta, the supreme amongst deities, and Lord Shambhu, Shiva, the greatest of Vaishnavas. So Srimad Bhagavatam is the greatest of all Puranas. Bhagavatam is a spotless Purana. Among all the Puranas, Srimad Bhagavatam is the best. It is the most dear thing to the Vaishnavas. It reveals that spotless, pure, supreme knowledge accessible to the Paramahamsas. This is it. We've got access to knowledge here, which really belongs to the Paramahamsas, but we've got access to it, which is amazing. And it also reveals the process by which one can become free from the reactions of material work, a process enriched with knowledge, renunciation, and devotion. Anyone who seriously tries to understand Srimad Bhagavatam, who hears properly and chants it with devotion, becomes completely liberated. Brahma then spoke it to sage Narad, who narrated it to Krishna Dayapana Vyas. Srila Vyasadev revealed this Bhagavatam to the greatest of sages, Sukadeva Goswami. And Sukadeva Goswami mercifully spoke it to Maharaj Parikshit. Having thus glorified this Bhagavatam, so then Suta Goswami heard, he was in the congregation when Sukadeva Goswami was speaking it, the Bhagavatam, to Parikshit Maharaj. So he heard it in that forum. And then he passed it to the sages at Naimisharanya, headed by Shonak Rishi. Having thus glorified the Bhagavatam, Suta Goswami meditates upon Lord Sri Narayan as the original absolute truth, who is perfectly pure, free from all contamination, devoid of sorrow and immortal. He then offers obeisances to the greatest yogi, Srila Sukadeva Goswami, who was his guru, who is non-different from the absolute truth. How is that possible? How is he non-different from the absolute truth? So in the same way as the guru is non-different from the Supreme Lord. Saksa Dharit Vena Samasa Sastriya. So in the same way, Sukadeva Goswami, spiritual master, is non-different from Krishna. They're different, but they're same as well. It's this Achintya Bede Bede Tattva philosophy, one and different at the same time. Finally, praying with true devotion, Suta Goswami offers respects to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Hari, who takes away all miseries. So, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. So we wanted to thank the Lordships, Shri Radha and Krishna. Without their blessings, without their mercy, there's no way. If you told me, we've been at this since something like mid-September 2020. So nearly 21 months nearly, going through all the chapters in overview, summary form. And if somebody had told me that we would be doing this, like a couple of years ago, I would have said no chance, unbelievable. But the Lord makes things possible. Things which are impossible, He makes them possible. So really, we have to thank Him for allowing us this opportunity to serve, to please Him in some small capacity by going through this wonderful, wonderful scripture. And we like to thank Shri Vyasadeva, because if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have the Srimad Bhagavatam. He wrote all of the Vedanta, Vedas, all the different Puranas, Upanishads, and then finally he wrote the Srimad Bhagavatam out of despair because he was so sad. And then Narad Muni instructed him, "You have not glorified Krishna." So he spent a good long part of the Bhagavatam glorifying Krishna. Minimum of 90 chapters in the 10th canto are just dedicated to Krishna alone. And most of the other cantos are dedicated to Krishna anyway. So Srila Vyasadeva ki jai. Then of course, Sukadev Goswami, who narrated the Bhagavatam, and Parikshit Maharaj, who's the cause of that narration. If he hadn't sat on the Ganga waiting for Sukadev Goswami to give him the instruction of how to die, we wouldn't have the Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is, at least in this format, it's such a wonderful format. The original format is just 4 verses, but it's been expanded into amazing narration. So thanks to Parikshit Maharaj as well as Shukadeva Goswami. And then Shri Gonitai, and they relished, especially Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Gadadhar Pandit would daily sit for, I think it was 3 hours, they would listen to the Bhagavatam, 3 hours every single day. And they would listen mainly to the same pastimes of Dhruv Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj. And thank the 6 Goswamis who gave us so much nectar, so much guidance on Bhagavatam. A lot of the commentary written by Srila Prabhupada, the purports, are through the guidance of the 6 Goswamis. So Shri Rupasi Sanatan, Shri Bhatta Raghunath, Shri Jiva Gopala, Bhatta Dasa Raghunath, Che Goswamis, Ki Jai. And then, of course, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, because he also promoted the preaching of the Srimad Bhagavatam. He was very strong on that. He liked the preaching of Bhagavatam and also Chaitanya Bhagavat. So thanks to him, we have our own Srila Prabhupada, who very kindly spent blood, sweat, and tears translating this Bhagavatam. He spent such a long time. Sometimes through the night he would translate Bhagavatam, and we can't even be bothered to open it once a day. So, but we're very fortunate. It's so easily accessible. That's the problem. Because it's so easily accessible, we take it very lightly. But this Bhagavatam is one of the most rarest scriptures. Bhaktivinoda Thakur spent years looking for a copy of genuine Bhagavatam, and we've got it at our fingertips. That's why we take it lightly. But the Bhagavatam is such an important scripture. And of course, Guru Maharaj, he would constantly be preaching from the Bhagavatam, and especially he loved the first canto, 2nd chapter, and many verses from that he would try to get us to memorize and learn. But he was a staunch preacher of Bhagavatam. He could spend hours and hours lecturing at a time. I remember in the early days when we got initiated, and there were a few other devotees with us. He used to come, he used to stay at our house, and then there would just be 2 or 3 or 4 of us, and he would just spend hours going through Bhagavatam with us. It means he loved Bhagavatam, but he also loved teaching the Bhagavatam, and he cared for us, so he taught it to us. So amazing, amazing. So let's just stop there. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Any questions? Any comments?
His Grace Abhinandan Prabhu ki
Hare Krishna,
jai.
Guru Maharaj ki jai, Karuna ki jai.
Thank you,
so,
Prabhu. You've taken us through this Bhagavatam. The first time in my life I've heard the whole of it. So really thanks so much.
No, thank you. Thank you for encouraging and always being there, always singing away. It wouldn't be the same, actually. This lockdown has been such a blessing for us.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Thanks, Prabhuji, Karuna, Mataji, our Shanti Mataji. So great. I never knew that I would never thought that I would have to go through this. So I did miss out a little bit in here and there.
You haven't missed anything. You've got the whole thing.
Yeah, so glad that you've done it to us. So glad, so grateful to you, Prabhuji.
Yeah, I'm grateful to you. I wouldn't have done it if it wasn't for you guys.
Yeah, it's a listener and the narrator and everybody, and so free to ask any questions, stupid questions that we ask.
No,
but
yours
was
good
excellent. And one thing is that, Srimad Bhagavatam is compared to this body of Lord Krishna with the feet and the thighs and the abdomen and the hands. So that's what I cannot understand, how the 1 and 2 chapters relate to the legs, then to the thighs and to the lower abdomen.
Yep. Yes, good question. Actually, when we take darshan of the Lord, we're supposed to look at the feet first, and then gradually go up to the thighs and the stomach and the chest, and then the hands, and then the face, and then the eyebrows. So the Bhagavatam is the same. Some people go straight to the 10th canto because Krishna's loving pastimes. But what we're supposed to do with the Bhagavatam is go through the first canto, second canto, so the legs, and then like it's that way. It's that way.
In that way, that is understood in that way, starting from the bottom and gradually getting to the face.
Slowly go up to the 10th canto, to the face of the Lord. Face of the Bhagavatam.
Amazing. And how Srila Vyasdeva wrote not only Srimad Bhagavatam, but all the other Puranas, 400,000. I wonder, how did he do it, and how sort of, how old was he when he was doing all this, and how long did he live? And oh my goodness, amazing questions. And all the characters, at each and every step, we are mentioned in each and every canto, verse, chapter, we are mentioned about devotional service to the Krishna.
Yes.
And it sticks to our mind that what makes it stick, that this is the best. Nothing can be compared to Krishna.
Correct.
And the characters are amazing. I mean, I may have forgotten, but right from Prithu Maharaj, Ambrish Maharaj, Dhruv Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, or Parikshit Maharaj, which all is started, Sukdev Goswami, Suk Goswami. What sticks in my mind is our Rudrasura, being a demon.
Yeah. Well done.
1 year he was there, being sort of, and Indra could not do anything. Poor man. And he had to advise Indra to finish with him so that he can be liberated.
That's
he must have suffered. But
Vritrasura, no, because he was just remembering the Lord.
Yeah.
But you're right. 1 year it took Indra to kill him.
Yes. Yeah. Everything is so like Markandeya. We heard about Markandeya Rishi, but his chapter was amazing. How he lived and survived the Leela of Krishna that showed him the material world. Oh my goodness, you can go on and on with this.
Yeah, true.
Amazing. Thanks for taking us through it, Prabhuji.
No, thank you for being so enthusiastic. You were reading right the way through, and it's very encouraging. Very encouraging. Yeah, very good. Very, very good.
I was just reading the translation though, not the purports.
Yes, I mean, next time going through purports is good to read.
Yes,
there's a lot of information is in the purports. As I was going through purports. Now Chaitanya Charitam, I'm going through the purports as well, and wow, that's why it's taking a lot longer to actually do any chapters. But there's so much, and Chaitanya Charitamrita is even it's a different category. He starts with some heavy, not heavy, some very intimate philosophy, very nice philosophy. But anyway, I'll get my act together and slowly getting through it.
Yes. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much.
Really appreciate it. Mataji as well.
Hare Krishna, thank you.
Thank you.
So anybody else who would like to share a pastime or some point of the philosophy? Karuna, would you like to share?
Yes, Prabhu. So I, because you have made me learn the Shiva Stuti, so this has really stuck in my mind. So when Shiva in the 4th canto, he sang he sent for the prachetas and give them instructions how to do the mantra. So long verses. So this one is really most. This has really gone through my mind because here what we have been learning is you have to do prayers at home. So we were going to the temple. So the temple was mainly Shiva prayers and offering water, etc. And then Mahashivratri. This is mostly what we have been doing. But when we went to Iskon temple, then they said that even Shiva said that we should pray to Lord Krishna. So this, well, I didn't read all these, so I didn't know where it was. So going through the Bhagavatam with you is really nice. I've been able to really localize where it is, where he has said that we should be praying to Lord Krishna because he is the Supreme Lord. So yes, thank you so much. Thank you to Mataji Jayanti also for singing the verses so beautifully.
No, I don't know. You're the star there.
No, Mataji, it's so nice hearing you each time. So
I try.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, interesting you picked that out because it's those prayers are phenomenal prayers. Oh, no, thank you for picking those out. Interesting, very good.
Another
We
point
were just
is,
thinking about.
sorry, Mataji.
Yeah, it was just sharing that it's not blindly following religion, but as children we were taught to do these prayers, to go to the Shivala to celebrate Mahashivratri and to concentrate on Ramayana, we do Diwali. So we have been learning a little bit about the Sanatan Dharma, the religion, the Hindu religion that we call it. But now through all these lectures, Guru Maharaj instructions, and we have been learning so many things with him. So now that really makes sense what it is really, who is the Supreme Lord, who are the demigods, and what they have been teaching, and really it makes sense now what is the whole thing all about.
Yeah, it's very good. Yeah, and you're absolutely right. It's not blind following. That's sentimental. Yeah, good. Very good. Very, very good. Thank you for sharing.
One thing about Karuna Pandari, that each day she sang a different bhajan. Imagine, since we started, she's been singing one bhajan a day. Can you imagine? Must be going to the Guinness record.
She is. She's going to hit that Guinness record, I'm sure.
Amazing.
Oh, no, all these is thanks to Prabhu, because he hasn't taught me about the KK songs and so many bhajans available. I wouldn't have even known about it. So,
yeah, but still you sang it wonderfully. Excellent.
Yeah. It's in the 100.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Yes. Your lecture is very, very, very nice, Prabhu. I want to say something which you show the 6 Goswami Rup, Sanatan Raghunath Das Ji Goswami, so Gopal Bhatta Raghunath. This Gopal Bhatta Raghunath Das, he is someone, Prabhu, I have read the last chapter of the Chaitanya Charitamrita. It is so amazing, something which we see, which he said, it is quite existing. You feel among them. This is the extraordinary things which I feel. Once I read it, I am reading again for hours, and I very appreciate this person. You will do it. You will find it, Prabhuji.
I remember it. Yeah.
That's why it's called Chaitanya Charita Amrit. This is Amrit nectar, Prabhu. I like it very much.
Good. We're going to dive in in a few weeks' time. Yeah. Anything you'd like to share from the Bhagavatam? Any particular pastime that you really strikes you?
So many things, Prabhu. I read Bhagavatam almost every day. When I am not sleepy, I cannot just sit and stand like this. I take the Bhagavatam. I have read it twice, the whole Bhagavatam. Now I am starting again. It is so nectarian, Prabhu. So nectarian.
It's constant. You're right. Very good.
Sometimes tear comes from my eyes, Prabhu. Why I have been sat here every day doing the chantings and Nrsimha Kavach, all these things, Prabhu. Oh, what it is. When Lord Krishna will come and take me back.
You're already with him.
Yes, Prabhu. It's like this. Sometimes we say we don't want to. Even I play with my nothing, my daughter, my granddaughter. He was just playing with me. This is Lord gift, taking her with me, playing. Next, from 10 minutes back, he was just coming and just running before me. Okay, Sadhu, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Riyansh.
Prabhuji, can I recite the Narsimha shlokas now only because my charging is going to run out?
You certainly can. Go for it.
Prabhuji, can I?
Yes, yes. Do it. Do it. This one. Go for it. Go for it. Chant it now.
Om Namo Bhagavate Narsimhaya Namaste Jase Avir Bhava Vajranaka Rajtaramshra Karma Shayan Rande Tamo Grasa Om Swaha Abhayam Atmani Bhushtavam Shom Swastastu Ishasya Kala Prasirata Jayantu Bhutani Shivam Mitodiya Manashtrapatam Bhajatada Dokshaje Aveshatano Matirapi Haituke Agaradaratmajavitta Vandushu Sango Yadisha Pagotriashna Pranavritya Paritoshtanmavan Sityatadurana Tatendriya Priya Yet Sangalaptam Nijavirya Vaibhava Tita Muhu Samskrishatam Himanasa Arati Raja Unata Shrutibira Tungajam Pavaina Seveta Mukunda Vikrama Yasyastri Bhakti Bhagavacha Kinchana Sarver Gunestatra Samasa Tesara Harava Bhakti Astakuto Mahatkuna Manoratena Sati Davato Bahi Hari Sakshat Bhagwan Sharirina.
Are you there? Your battery run out. Okay, we can finish you off later. So
Just two more. Just finish.
no, it's okay. Shyamalini, anything you want to share about Bhagavatam or Ram Dulara?
Hare Krishna, Babuji.
Hare Krishna, yes.
Haribol.
Hare Krishna.
Thank
Any
you very much for
sticks in your mind?
Thank you very much for having gone through the whole of Bhagavatam, which I never thought to happen in my life, because on me alone I could not have done this. We have to take example of Vitrasur. Haribol.
Yes.
We have to take example of Vitrasur.
Yes.
He was very tenacious, even though
Yes.
he knows that he's going to die.
Mm.
He was always thinking of the Lord.
Mm.
So we have to be like him, to be strong and have always faith in the Lord and think of the Lord. Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us and encouraging us as well. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu Mataji. Yeah, I've learned a lot, and every time, every day when you want to discuss a topic, it encouraged me to read about it, to know more, especially about great personality you've talked about. That has helped me a lot to know them more, because we just hear their name sometimes, but when you always discuss about them, then I've learned a lot.
Any particular pastime in the Bhagavatam that sticks in your mind?
I can't remember anything at the moment. Sorry.
No problem, no problem. Okay.
Did we discuss? Did you talk about Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya?
No, that's coming up. Bhagavatam. I mean, Chaitanya Charitamrita.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's going to be quite a lot on him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
And thank you for joining us and participating so nicely. So appreciated.
Thank you. No, thank you, you and Mataji. It helps us to every day to look forward for, and I mean, even some days I don't attend, but also, give us this opportunity to learn every day.
Yeah, no, it's thanks to
increase
Zoom.
our knowledge.
Zoom made it possible. Otherwise, this would have been impossible. So,
Yes,
It's
definitely.
also, yeah, also possible because of all of you. Otherwise, it would, we would have not been encouraged to do it either.
Yeah, thank you.
Any particular pastime you want to share?
Yeah, well, I think what we talked about Krishna and Shiva fighting, and then Krishna making Shiva yawn, and so that Shiva couldn't fight. That really was an interesting pastime. But yeah, I mean, I've read the Bhagavatam a few times, but there's always something new that you learn every time. Okay, thank you, Naniban, for joining. Okay,
Thank you. So, Srimad Bhagavatam ki
Jai.
jai, Bhagavad Puran ki jai.